Florida, what is the minimum following distance required when driving behind a fire truck that is not responding to an emergency? Option A, 100 feet. Option B, 500 feet. Option C, 300 feet. Option D, 1,000 feet. The correct answer is B, 500 feet. Florida law requires drivers to maintain at least 500 feet behind any fire truck that is responding to an emergency. When the fire truck is not responding, normal following distance rules apply, but 500 feet is the legal minimum when lights/sirens are active. In Florida, what does the move over law require when you pass a stop, law enforcement, emergency, or utility vehicle with flashing lights? Option A, slow to 20 miles per hour regardless of the posted limit. Option B, move over one lane away, or if unable, slow down to 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Option C, stop completely until the vehicle moves. Option D, activate hazard lights and maintain speed. The correct answer is B, move over one lane away, or if unable, slow down to 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Florida's move over law is 316.126 requires drivers to move over one lane away from the stopped vehicle. If a lane change is not safely possible, slow down to 20 miles per hour below the posted limit, or 5 miles per hour if the posted limit is 20 miles per hour or less. Violations carry fines and points. In Florida, how many points are added to your driving record for a speeding conviction of 15 miles per hour or less over the limit? Option A, 0 points. Option B, 3 points. Option C, 2 points. Option D, 4 points. The correct answer is B, 3 points. In Florida, speeding 1 to 15 miles per hour over the limit adds 3 points. Speeding 16 miles per hour or more over the limit adds 4 points. Speeding that results in a crash adds 6 points. Points stay on your record for 3 years and affect your insurance rate. In Florida, what is the consequence of accumulating 12 points within 12 months on your driving record? Option A, 30-day license suspension. Option B, a warning letter is sent. Option C, 3-month license suspension. Option D, 1-year license suspension. The correct answer is A, 30-day license suspension. In Florida, accumulating 12 points within 12 months results in a 30-day license suspension. Accumulating 18 points within 18 months results in a 3-month suspension. Accumulating 24 points within 36 months results in a 1-year suspension. In Florida, what is the legal BAC limit for drivers operating a commercial motor vehicle? Option A, 0.4%. Option B, 0.8%. Option C, 0.2%. Option D, 0.0%. The correct answer is A, 0.4%. Florida commercial vehicle drivers are held to a stricter BAC standard of 0.4%. A conviction for DUI while operating a commercial vehicle results in a 1-year CDL disqualification for a first offense and a lifetime disqualification for a second offense. In Florida, what happens to your driver license if you refuse to submit to a breath, blood, or urine test when lawfully requested by law enforcement? Option A, nothing unless convicted of DUI. Option B, 6-month suspension for any refusal. Option C, immediate arrest and 30-day suspension. Option D, 1-year suspension for first refusal, 18-month suspension for second refusal. The correct answer is D, 1-year suspension for first refusal, 18-month suspension for second refusal. Under Florida's implied consent law as 316.1932, refusing a lawfully requested chemical test results in a 1-year license suspension for a first refusal. A second refusal is a first-degree misdemeanor and results in an 18-month suspension. In Florida, what is the minimum amount of personal injury protection, PIP, insurance required? Option A, $5,000. Option B, $15,000. Option C, $10,000. Option D, $25,000. The correct answer is C, $10,000. Florida requires all registered vehicle owners to carry a minimum of $10,000 in personal injury protection, PIP, and $10,000 in property damage liability, PDL. Florida is a no-fault insurance state, meaning PIP covers your own injuries regardless of who caused the accident. In Florida, a vehicle is considered uninsured if the owner fails to maintain required insurance. What is the consequence of a first offense for driving without insurance? Option A. License and registration suspended until reinstatement fee is paid and proof of insurance is provided. Option B. $50 fine only. Option C. 30-day jail sentence. Option D. Automatic vehicle impoundment for 30 days. The correct answer is A. License and registration suspended until reinstatement fee is paid and proof of insurance is provided. Driving without required insurance in Florida results in license and registration suspension. A $150 reinstatement fee applies for a first offense, $250 for a second, and $500 for a third or subsequent offense. Proof of insurance must also be provided before reinstatement. In Florida, what is the legal definition of a DUI, driving under the influence? Option A. Only applies when BAC is 0, 8% or higher. Option B. Only applies to alcohol, not drugs. Option C. Operating a vehicle with a BAC of 0, 8% or higher, or while impaired by alcohol or any chemical or controlled substance. Option D. Only applies on highways, not parking lots. The correct answer is C. Operating a vehicle with a BAC of 0, 8% or higher, or while impaired by alcohol or any chemical or controlled substance. Florida DUI law is 316. 193 applies when a person drives or is in actual physical control of a vehicle while impaired by alcohol, chemical substances, or controlled substances, or when BAC is 0, 8% or higher. Being in the driver's seat with the engine running counts as actual physical control. In Florida, what is the penalty for a first DUI conviction with no aggravating factors? Option A. Fine only, no license action. Option B. Fine of $500 to $1,000, up to 6 months in jail, license revocation for 180 days to 1 year. Option C. Mandatory 30-day jail sentence. Option D. Fine of $2,500 minimum. The correct answer is B. Fine of $500 to $1,000, up to 6 months in jail, license revocation for 180 days to 1 year. A first DUI conviction in Florida carries a fine of $500 to $1,000, up to 6 months imprisonment, mandatory 50 hours of community service, probation, and license revocation for a minimum of 180 days up to 1 year. A DUI school program is also required. In Florida, what is the zero-tolerance BAC limit for drivers under 21? Option A. 0. 0%. Option B. 0. 4%. Option C. 0. 2%. Option D. 0. 8%. The correct answer is C. 0. 2%. Florida's zero-tolerance law applies to drivers under 21. Any BAC of 0. 2% or higher results in a 6-month license suspension. This is not a DUI charge, it is an administrative action. A BAC of 0. 8% or higher would also result in a DUI charge. In Florida, what is the speed limit in an alley? Option A. 5 miles per hour. Option B. 15 miles per hour. Option C. 10 miles per hour. Option D. 20 miles per hour. The correct answer is B. 15 miles per hour. The speed limit in any alley in Florida is 15 miles per hour unless otherwise posted. Alleys are narrow passages and pose high pedestrian risks, making this one of the lowest default speed limits in the state. In Florida, when are you required by law to turn on your headlights? Option A. From sunset to sunrise and when visibility is less than 1,000 feet due to rain, smoke, or fog. Option B. Only between midnight and 5 a.m. Option C. Only during rain or fog. Option D. Whenever wipers are in use. The correct answer is A. From sunset to sunrise and when visibility is less than 1,000 feet due to rain, smoke, or fog. Florida law is 316. 217. Requires headlights from sunset to sunrise and whenever visibility is reduced to 1,000 feet or less due to rain, smoke, fog, or other conditions. Headlights must also be on whenever windshield wipers are in continuous use due to weather. In Florida, what is the correct wheel position when parking uphill on a street with a curb? Option A. Turn wheels away from the curb, left. Option B. Turn wheels toward the curb, right. Option C. Keep wheels straight. Option D. Turn wheels toward the center of the road. The correct answer is A. Turn wheels away from the curb, left. When parking uphill with a curb, turn your front wheels away from the curb, to the left. If the parking brake fails, the car will roll back and the rear tire will catch the curb. When parking downhill with a curb, turn wheels toward the curb, right. In Florida, what does a flashing yellow arrow at a traffic signal mean? Option A. You have a protected turn, oncoming traffic is stopped. Option B. Come to a complete stop before turning. Option C. The signal is about to turn red. Option D. You may turn but must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. The correct answer is D. You may turn but must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. A flashing yellow arrow means you may turn in the direction of the arrow, but it is an unprotected turn. You must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. This is different from a solid green arrow, which gives you a protected turn with oncoming traffic stopped. In Florida, what must you do when approaching a school bus that is stopped with its red lights flashing and stop arm extended on an undivided road? Option A. Slow to 15 miles per hour and pass carefully. Option B. Stop only if you are behind the bus. Option C. Yield to children then proceed at 10 miles per hour. Option D. Stop at least 20 feet away and remain stopped until lights stop flashing. The correct answer is D. Stop at least 20 feet away and remain stopped until lights stop flashing. In Florida, all vehicles traveling in both directions on an undivided road must stop at least 20 feet from a school bus with flashing red lights and extended stop arm. You must remain stopped until the lights stop flashing. On a divided highway with a raised barrier, only vehicles behind the bus must stop. In Florida, what is the required distance from a railroad crossing at which you must stop if a train is approaching? Option A. 15 feet. Option B. 5 feet. Option C. 50 feet. Option D. 100 feet. The correct answer is A. 15 feet. Florida law requires drivers to stop no closer than 15 feet from the nearest rail of a railroad crossing when a train is approaching or signals are active. Never attempt to cross if there is not enough space to completely clear the tracks on the other side. In Florida, which of the following is a correct statement about right turns on red? Option A. Always permitted without stopping. Option B. Permitted after a complete stop and yielding to all traffic and pedestrians, unless a sign prohibits it. Option C. Only permitted between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Option D. Only permitted on one-way streets. The correct answer is B. Permitted after a complete stop and yielding to all traffic and pedestrians, unless a sign prohibits it. In Florida, right turns on red are permitted after coming to a complete stop and yielding to pedestrians and all conflicting traffic, unless a posted sign prohibits it. A sign reading "No turn on red" must be obeyed at all times. In Florida, what is the law regarding the use of handheld cell phones while driving? Option A. Handheld use is legal everywhere in Florida. Option B. Only texting is prohibited, calling is always allowed. Option C. Handheld texting is prohibited statewide. Handheld calling in school and work zones is also prohibited. Option D. Hands-free devices are never required in Florida. The correct answer is C. Handheld texting is prohibited statewide. Handheld calling in school and work zones is also prohibited. Florida's texting while driving law S. 316. 305 bans manual entry of text, email, or internet data while driving statewide. Additionally, in school zones and active work zones, all handheld use, including phone calls, is prohibited. A first offense is a non-moving violation. A second within 5 years is a moving violation with points. In Florida, what is the hands-free requirement in school and active work zones? Option A. All handheld mobile device use is prohibited. Calls must be made hands-free or not at all. Option B. Drivers may use handheld devices if moving slowly. Option C. Only texting is prohibited in these zones. Option D. The restriction applies only to CDL drivers. The correct answer is A. All handheld mobile device use is prohibited. Calls must be made hands-free or not at all. In designated school zones and active work zones, Florida law prohibits all handheld wireless communications device use. Drivers must use hands-free technology or not use the device at all. Violations in these zones carry enhanced fines and a moving violation designation. In Florida, what is the minimum age to obtain a Class E, standard, driver license? Option A. 15 years old. Option B. 17 years old. Option C. 18 years old. Option D. 16 years old. The correct answer is D. 16 years old. In Florida, you must be at least 16 years old to obtain a Class E driver license. Before that, drivers ages 15 to 16 may hold a learner's license. At 16, after holding the learner's license for 12 months and meeting driving hour requirements, they may apply for a full Class E license. In Florida, how many hours of behind-the-wheel driving practice are required before a teen can get their full license, and how many must be at night? Option A. 25 hours total, 5 at night. Option B. 50 hours total, 10 at night. Option C. 40 hours total, 10 at night. Option D. 30 hours total, 5 at night. The correct answer is B. 50 hours total, 10 at night. Florida requires learner license holders, ages 15 to 17, to complete at least 50 hours of supervised driving practice, of which at least 10 hours must be at night. This requirement must be certified by a parent or legal guardian on the license application. In Florida, what restrictions apply to a driver under 17 who has a full Class E license, intermediate license? Option A. No restrictions. Option B. Cannot drive on highways. Option C. Cannot drive between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless with a licensed adult 21 or older, going to or from work, or in an emergency. Option D. Cannot carry more than one passenger under 18. The correct answer is C. Cannot drive between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless with a licensed adult 21 or older, going to or from work, or in an emergency. Florida's graduated licensing law restricts drivers under 17 from driving between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless accompanied by a licensed driver 21 or older, or driving to, from work, school, or a medical emergency. For the first 12 months of having the full license, no more than one passenger under 18, other than family, is allowed. In Florida, what does it mean when a highway sign shows a white diamond shape painted on the pavement? Option A. Passing zone. Option B. No parking zone. Option C. Pedestrian crossing ahead. Option D. Reserved lane, such as HAV or bus only. The correct answer is D. Reserved lane, such as HAV or bus only. A white diamond painted on the pavement marks a reserved or restricted lane, most commonly an HOV, high occupancy vehicle, lane or a bus-only lane. Only vehicles meeting the posted requirements may use that lane during the times indicated. In Florida, what is the correct action when you see a pennant-shaped sign on the left side of the road? Option A. Merge left immediately. Option B. Yield to oncoming traffic. Option C. Slow to 45 miles per hour. Option D. You are entering a no-passing zone, do not attempt to pass. The correct answer is D. You are entering a no-passing zone, do not attempt to pass. A pennant-shaped yellow sign always marks the beginning of a no-passing zone. It appears on the left side of the road facing the direction of travel. It works alongside solid yellow center lines to indicate that passing is prohibited in that stretch of road. In Florida, what color are signs that provide information about distances and directions on interstate highways? Option A. blue. Option B, orange. Option C, green. Option D, white. The correct answer is C, green. Green signs on highways provide directional and distance information such as exit signs, street names, and mileage markers. Blue signs indicate motorist services, gas, food, lodging, hospitals. Orange signs warn of construction or maintenance zones. In Florida, what does a solid white line between lanes of traffic traveling in the same direction indicate? Option A, lane changes are encouraged here. Option B, passing is permitted in this area. Option C, lane changes are discouraged, you should not cross the line. Option D, the lane is reserved for bicycles. The correct answer is C, lane changes are discouraged, you should not cross the line. A solid white line between lanes indicates that lane changes are discouraged in that area. You should not cross it unless necessary. Solid white lines are often found near intersections, on ramps, or at other locations where lane changes would be unsafe. In Florida, what is the maximum speed limit on a limited access highway, interstate, in rural areas unless otherwise posted? Option A, 60 miles per hour. Option B, 70 miles per hour. Option C, 65 miles per hour. Option D, 75 miles per hour. The correct answer is B, 70 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit on rural limited access highways, interstates, in Florida is 70 miles per hour unless a lower limit is posted. In urban areas, the limit is typically 65 miles per hour. Florida also allows certain portions of I-4 and other highways to have 70 miles per hour limits even in less rural areas. In Florida, if you are involved in a crash that results in injury, death, or property damage over $500, what must you do? Option A, only notify your insurance company. Option B, immediately call law enforcement and remain at the scene. Option C, exchange information and leave if no injuries. Option D, file a report within 30 days only if damage exceeds $1,000. The correct answer is B, immediately call law enforcement and remain at the scene. Florida law requires drivers involved in a crash with injury, death, or property damage over $500 to immediately stop, render aid if needed, call law enforcement, and provide their name, address, and vehicle registration to the other parties. Leaving the scene of such a crash is a criminal offense. In Florida, what is the vulnerable road user law and what does it require of drivers? Option A, drivers must always stop for any pedestrian anywhere on the road. Option B, only applies on school days. Option C, only applies to commercial vehicle drivers. Option D, drivers must exercise due care to avoid hitting pedestrians, cyclists, and other vulnerable road users, and must pass them safely. The correct answer is D. Drivers must exercise due care to avoid hitting pedestrians, cyclists, and other vulnerable road users, and must pass them safely. Florida's Vulnerable Road User Law S. 316-027 requires all drivers to exercise due care to avoid colliding with pedestrians, cyclists, scooters, horses, and other vulnerable road users. Drivers must give an audible signal when necessary and must yield when these users are on or entering the roadway. In Florida, what is the minimum distance vehicles must maintain when passing a bicycle rider? Option A, 1 foot. Option B, 2 feet. Option C, 4 feet. Option D, 3 feet. The correct answer is D, 3 feet. Florida law requires a minimum of 3 feet of clearance when a motor vehicle passes a bicycle. If 3 feet is not possible within the lane, the driver must move to another lane to pass safely. Drivers may also briefly cross a center line to pass a cyclist when safe to do so. In Florida, when may a driver legally use the center two-way left turn lane? Option A, for passing slower vehicles. Option B, for driving more than 500 feet to avoid congestion. Option C, only for making left turns or preparing to make a left turn, and for no more than 300 feet. Option D, at any time if the lane is empty. The correct answer is C. Only for making left turns or preparing to make a left turn, and for no more than 300 feet. The center two-way left turn lane may only be used when preparing for or completing a left turn. You may not use it as a travel lane or for passing. Florida limits use of this lane to 300 feet before a turn. Drivers entering from a side street may also use it briefly to merge safely. In Florida, what is the correct response when your vehicle begins to hydroplane? Option A. Brake hard to regain traction. Option B. Accelerate to power through the water. Option C. Ease off the gas, keep the wheel steady, and avoid braking abruptly. Option D. Swerve sharply to avoid the water. The correct answer is C. Ease off the gas, keep the wheel steady, and avoid braking abruptly. When hydroplaning, the tires lose contact with the road surface. Ease off the accelerator gradually, hold the steering wheel straight, and let the vehicle slow naturally. Hard braking or sharp steering can cause a skid or spin out. Once traction returns, brake gently if needed. In Florida, what is the recommended following distance in normal driving conditions? Option A. 1 second rule. Option B. 2 second rule. Option C. 4 second rule. Option D. 3 second rule. The correct answer is D. 3 second rule. Florida recommends the 3 second rule as the minimum following distance in normal conditions. Choose a fixed object ahead, and when the vehicle in front passes it, count 3 seconds. In bad weather, heavy traffic, or when following motorcycles or large trucks, increase to 4 to 6 seconds. In Florida, what is the required minimum following distance behind an emergency vehicle that is actively responding with lights and siren? Option A. 100 feet. Option B. 500 feet. Option C. 300 feet. Option D. 1,000 feet. The correct answer is B. 500 feet. Florida law prohibits following any fire truck that is responding to a call within 500 feet. You also must not park within 1 block of any fire truck at a fire scene. Cutting in front of or interfering with emergency vehicles is a serious traffic violation. In Florida, what does actual physical control of a vehicle mean in DUI law? Option A. Only applies when the car is moving. Option B. Only applies when keys are in the ignition and the engine is running. Option C. Only applies on public roads. Option D. Being in or on the vehicle in a position to operate it, whether the vehicle is moving or not. The correct answer is D. Being in or on the vehicle in a position to operate it, whether the vehicle is moving or not. Florida DUI law applies to actual physical control, which means being in or on a vehicle in a position to operate it. Sitting in the driver's seat with keys accessible, even if the car is parked and the engine is off, can constitute actual physical control. This is one of the most tested DUI concepts on the Florida DMV exam. In Florida, what is the consequence of a second DUI conviction within 5 years of the first? Option A. Same penalty as first conviction. Option B. Mandatory minimum 10 days imprisonment and minimum 5-year license revocation. Option C. Permanent license revocation. Option D. Mandatory minimum 10 days imprisonment, fine of $1,000 to $2,000, and minimum 5-year revocation. The correct answer is D. Mandatory minimum 10 days imprisonment, fine of $1,000 to $2,000, and minimum 5-year revocation. A second Florida DUI conviction within 5 years carries a mandatory minimum of 10 days in jail, a fine of $1,000 to $2,000, vehicle impoundment, and a minimum 5-year license revocation. An ignition interlock device is required upon reinstatement. A hardship license may be available after 1 year. In Florida, what are the State Route 22 and FR 44 forms, and when is the FR 44 required? Option A. State Route 22 is standard proof of insurance. FR 44 is required after a DUI and demands higher coverage limits. Option B. Both are the same proof of minimum insurance. Option C. FR 44 is only for commercial drivers. Option D. State Route 22 is required after a DUI. FR 44 is for uninsured motorists. The correct answer is A. State Route 22 is standard proof of insurance. FR 44 is required after a DUI and demands higher coverage limits. In Florida, State Route 22 is a certificate of financial responsibility required after certain violations. FR 44 is required specifically after a DUI conviction and demands higher insurance minimums: $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident for bodily injury, and $50,000 for property damage, significantly higher than the standard minimums. In Florida, what does the term habitual traffic offender mean, and what is the consequence? Option A: any driver with 6 or more points. Option B: a driver whose license has been suspended twice. Option C: a driver with 3 or more major violations or 15 convictions for moving violations within 5 years, results in 5-year license revocation. Option D: a driver convicted of road rage. The correct answer is C. A driver with 3 or more major violations or 15 convictions for moving violations within 5 years, results in 5-year license revocation. Florida classifies a driver as a habitual traffic offender, HTO, if they accumulate 3 or more major violations, such as DUI, vehicular homicide, or driving on a suspended license, or 15 convictions for moving violations within 5 years. The result is a mandatory 5-year license revocation. In Florida, how many feet before a turn must you activate your turn signal on a public road? Option A: 50 feet. Option B: 200 feet. Option C: 100 feet. Option D: 300 feet. The correct answer is C. 100 feet. Florida law is 316. 155 requires activating a turn signal at least 100 feet before turning or changing lanes in a business or residential district. On a highway, you must signal far enough in advance to give other drivers sufficient warning of your intention. In Florida, when is it legal to make a left turn at a red light? Option A: only from a one-way street onto another one-way street, after stopping and yielding. Option B: never. Red means stop in all cases. Option C: only when a sign permits it. Option D: only between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. The correct answer is A. Only from a one-way street onto another one-way street, after stopping and yielding. In Florida, a left turn on red is only legal when turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street. You must come to a complete stop, yield to pedestrians and oncoming traffic, and proceed only when safe. This is different from right on red, which is generally allowed unless posted. In Florida, what is the correct action if your car's accelerator gets stuck while driving? Option A: turn off the ignition while driving. Option B: downshift rapidly and immediately stop. Option C: shift to neutral, apply the brakes firmly, steer to safety, and then turn off the engine after stopping. Option D: pump the gas pedal to free it. The correct answer is C. Shift to neutral, apply the brakes firmly, steer to safety, and then turn off the engine after stopping. If the accelerator sticks, shift to neutral to cut engine power to the wheels, apply the brakes firmly, steer safely off the road, and turn off the engine only after the vehicle stops. Turning the ignition off while moving locks the steering wheel, which could cause loss of control. In Florida, what is the correct procedure if your vehicle stalls on railroad tracks with a train approaching? Option A: exit immediately and move away at a 45-degree angle in the direction the train is coming from. Option B: stay in the vehicle and call 911. Option C: try to restart the engine until the last moment. Option D: push the vehicle off the tracks. The correct answer is A. Exit immediately and move away at a 45-degree angle in the direction the train is coming from. If stalled on tracks with a train coming, exit the vehicle immediately and run in the direction the train is coming from, at a 45-degree angle away from the tracks. This prevents being struck by debris thrown from the collision. Never run parallel to the tracks. In Florida, what is the law regarding open containers of alcohol in a vehicle? Option A: no person, driver, or passenger may have an open alcoholic beverage container in a vehicle on a public highway. Option B: passengers may have open containers but the driver may not. Option C: Open containers are allowed only in the back seat. Option D. Only commercial vehicle operators are prohibited from having open containers. The correct answer is A. No person, driver, or passenger may have an open alcoholic beverage container in a vehicle on a public highway. Florida's open container law is 316. 1936 prohibits any person from possessing an open container of alcohol in a vehicle on a public road, including passengers. The driver receives a non-criminal moving violation. Passengers receive a non-criminal non-moving violation. Exceptions exist for passengers in limos, buses, and similar vehicles. In Florida, what is the safety belt law and who is required to wear a seatbelt? Option A. Only the driver and front seat passengers. Option B. All occupants of a vehicle, driver, and all passengers regardless of seating position. Option C. Only occupants under 18. Option D. Only the driver. The correct answer is B. All occupants of a vehicle, driver, and all passengers regardless of seating position. Florida's mandatory seatbelt law requires all occupants, driver, and all passengers to be properly restrained regardless of where they are sitting in the vehicle. The driver is responsible for ensuring all passengers under 18 are buckled. Adults 18 and over are personally responsible for their own restraint. A seatbelt violation is a secondary offense for rear seat adult passengers. In Florida, what is the fine range for a first offense DUI with a BAC of 0? 15% or higher, enhanced penalty? Option A. $500 to $1,000. Option B. $1,000 to $2,000. Option C. $2,000 to $4,000. Option D. $500 to $2,000. The correct answer is B. $1,000 to $2,000. In Florida, a first DUI with a BAC of 0, 15% or higher, or with a minor in the vehicle, results in enhanced penalties. A fine of $1,000 to $2,000, up to 9 months imprisonment, and mandatory ignition interlock device installation. Standard first DUI fines are $500 to $1,000. In Florida, what does a triangular orange sign with a red border on the back of a slow vehicle mean? Option A. Construction vehicle ahead. Option B. The vehicle typically travels 25 miles per hour or less on public roads. Option C. Emergency vehicle in use. Option D. Wide load, proceed with caution. The correct answer is B. The vehicle typically travels 25 miles per hour or less on public roads. The orange and red triangular slow-moving vehicle, SMV, emblem is required on all vehicles that normally travel 25 miles per hour or less, such as farm equipment, horse-drawn vehicles, and road maintenance equipment. It warns faster traffic to slow down and approach with caution. In Florida, what is the speed limit in an active school zone when the flashing beacon is not active but children are walking to or from school? Option A. The school zone speed limit still applies whenever children are present going to or from school. Option B. The posted school zone limit does not apply. Option C. The regular posted speed applies. Option D. Drivers must slow to 15 miles per hour only if within 100 feet of children. The correct answer is A. The school zone speed limit still applies whenever children are present going to or from school. In Florida, the reduced school zone speed limit applies whenever children are present going to or from school, whether or not the flashing beacon is operating. Drivers must always exercise additional caution in school zones. Children present includes children walking on adjacent sidewalks. In Florida, what is the correct lane position when approaching and completing a right turn at an intersection? Option A. Start from the rightmost lane, finish in the rightmost available lane. Option B. Start from the center lane, finish in the far right lane. Option C. Start from any lane, finish wherever traffic allows. Option D. Start from the right lane, finish in the center lane. The correct answer is A. Start from the rightmost lane, finish in the rightmost available lane. When making a right turn, Florida law requires you to approach from the rightmost lane and complete the turn into the rightmost available lane of the road you are entering. Turning wide or finishing in a center or left lane is a common road test failure and a real-world violation. In Florida, what must a driver do when the green light is showing but the intersection is blocked with traffic? Option A. Proceed, you have the right of way with a green light. Option B. Use the horn to alert other drivers to move. Option C. Proceed and stop in the intersection. Option D. Wait behind the intersection until there is space to completely clear it before entering. The correct answer is D. Wait behind the intersection until there is space to completely clear it before entering. Florida law is 316. 123 prohibits entering an intersection when it is already blocked, even if the light is green. You must wait behind the stop line until there is sufficient space to fully clear the intersection. Blocking an intersection is a violation and adds 3 points to your license. Outstanding! You completed all 50 Florida DMV Practice Test 2026 Volume 5 questions. Subscribe to the USA Driving Test for free practice tests for all 50 states. Good luck on your exam.